Hi, everyone. I am so excited to let you know that I'll be talking with Coach John Walsh. Actually, he doesn't call himself Coach John Walsh, but he has been a coach and someone that I refer to. One of the things that I really like about his work is he's really direct. He's working on concepts that help the change the brain and change the neural pathways and how we think about things. And he's very enthusiastic, talking a lot about celebrating the milestones and the small things that you do in life that just keep you more positive. We don't do that, right? We don't celebrate those small things, like not so much like, yes, I cleaned up the kitchen, but no, really, there is something about noticing the positive things that you do throughout the day and encouraging yourself to do more of those things. We usually have this like inner critic in our head that is saying like, did you do that? Did you do that? Pressuring ourselves. So this is this concept of just encouraging your brain to think about other things, to notice more positive aspects of your life and your energy and your motivation and who you are is an encouraging factor of moving you forward. And that's what I really like about coaching is that there's a place for self-help in all so many different ways. It's not just therapy or groups um, or journaling. It's not one specific thing, but it's whatever you do for yourself that helps you stay awake, alert, enthusiastic, feeling good about yourself, growing, changing, whatever it is that you do. It could be something like you just change one thing that you do every single day and just keep a commitment to yourself. That can be a huge, enormous change. It could be just checking in with yourself a few times a day. That could also sort of tip you into feeling like, wow, lots of things are different now because I'm looking at things differently. I'm keeping a commitment to myself. I'm valuing myself. So these are some of the concepts that John Walsh and I talk about in our interview. I refer clients to him because I want people to have a way of exploring their emotionality, how to communicate more emotionally, how to get in touch with their feelings. And I think sometimes when I'm working with people in therapy, I don't have someone working on a skill set with someone specifically. So um, I really count on John to do this kind of work with people. I think it's incredibly valuable, and usually in deep therapy kind of connections, we don't often work on the small skill set like developing more coping skills with our clients. We work on maybe bigger and broader concepts. He also does a technique called tapping. So it's emotional freedom technique, and he'll explain what it's based on, but I find this really really effective even in like a free association way when I'm working on something and I'm blocked about something and I'm trying to get back to that place where I release whatever is heavy in my head to just be able to clear my mind and think more clearly. We get so ruminating about things, and sometimes it's that rumination and those negative thought patterns that keep us unclear and keep us from finding that way of moving forward in a more positive, more encouraging way for ourselves. So, this interview is such a good highlight for people to think about different ways of working with a coach, with a healer, with someone who's going to sort of track you and be your accountability person to work on your goals with you. So I hope you enjoy the interview, and um, I hope you enjoyed talking to John as much as I did. I'm going to say that last part again. I hope you enjoyed. So I hope you enjoyed the unique perspective that John Walsh is sharing in our interview from today. Hey, John Walsh, it's good to talk to you. I know we've been trying to make this meeting happen for a while, so thanks for taking the time today to talk to me.
Hello, Susan Regan. Thanks for having me here. Yeah, it's been a while. We finally got this together. Excellent.
Yes, yes. So I was thinking about the reason why I wanted to have you come on is this one of the reasons why I refer to you a lot is the whole idea about helping people actually explore and understand their emotions and be able to talk about them. And so I wanted to see if you could just start us off with, as you see my cat running back on the screen, um, is one of the things I wanted to see if you could just explain is, the technique of just sitting with somebody and just allowing them or helping them explore their emotions and being able to communicate. I mean, it sounds like a really simple thing, but I don't think that it's ever been, or it probably has been a million times explained, but how do you sit with somebody and get them to feel comfortable enough with you so that you start having an emotional conversation?
Yeah, it's a good question. That's the kind of the basics of coaching, if you will, is allowing somebody to just speak and find their own emotions, not interrupt them, and not, give them advice at all. It's rare in our society now that you get to just speak and have somebody just purely listen to you.
Hmm.
So that's kind of one of the basis of it. And then for me, it's just getting comfortable with them. Get a nice rapport with them, have them feel comfortable with you, have them know that they're in a secure, situation, that it's okay for them to talk about whatever it is they'd like to talk about and give them the space to just kind of go on. Typically, I'll ask a question that's kind of a broad stroked question and just allow people to kind of expand on that. And they end up usually kind of honing in on something that is bothering them or they're concerned about or something that they'd like to talk about. And then you just kind of let them go down that road.
Hmm. Okay. So, I was thinking too, the difference between like being and in therapy sessions versus coaching sessions and just the way they're set up and again, the focus. And I remember going into my own coaching work at a certain period of time and realizing like, oh, this is a really different crowd. I go to conferences with coaches versus therapists, so I could see the different sort of take on things. And I wonder if you could kind of describe the take that you have on the difference or of coaching versus therapy and how you explain that to a client.
That's a good question too. Yeah, a lot of people are not sure what the difference is. Kind of how I usually describe it is, if therapy is great, everybody could use some therapy, but it's more dealing with things that have happened to you in the past and trying to work on that. Where coaching is, I'm taking you from today, right now, where you are. Where do you want to be? How long do you want to take to get there,
Mhm.
and help people move from where they are to where they want to be, where they need to be. And that's working on them and having them work on themselves too. So I'm not doing anything for anybody. I'm just giving some tools and some guidance, some persuasion, and allowing them to use the tools they already have or the things they already have inside of them to help themselves. And in that way, that's actually how people are able to work on themselves is if they're feeling like they're the ones that are doing it. Somebody's not telling them what to do. But I do have people, I do give assignments and things like that. So people have to work on themselves with the tools that I give them. So that's
So,
number
so
one.
give us a tool that a common tool, like maybe the top three tools that you might work around in different ways with people.
Yeah, some of the basics ones are used for a lot of people, but breathing, just working on breathing and being conscious of your breathing, incorporating that with some maybe meditation, which is either done first thing in the morning or at night before you go to bed, and being present, trying to work on being here right now, whatever's happening right now, be attentive to that. Try not to think too far into the future. Try not to
So
worry.
bring me into that. Like how would you if you were sitting with me, you're sitting with me, if and bringing me right into the present just to be with you in this conversation and for you to be with me in this conversation. Show me
But
that.
yeah, that's just one of those. Just stop, take a deep breath, hold it, exhale, do that a couple times, and that right there usually will allow people to be aware of their breathing. It's again getting rid of the static that's out there and focusing on one thing, which is your breath. And then you say, open your eyes, take a look around, take a look at where you're sitting, what's in the room, how you're feeling, just being aware of how you're sitting. and that right there usually will draw somebody into right now in the present and, looking somebody in the eye when you're speaking to them, things like that. But so yeah, just basic stuff like that, just to bring you right into the present so we, can connect.
Mhm. Okay. And give me your next one. What's another tool that you work with people on the regular?
And that, yeah, that would be the being positive and celebrating. Again, two things that sound very basic, real simple. But what it's all about is giving your brain positive things to focus on. So you can't be negative and positive at the same time. So if you're feeding your brain positivity, positive thoughts, your brain will naturally start to think of things positively, look for positive things. And again, it can't be negative and positive at the same time. So if you're feeding your brain positive things,
Mhm.
then you're going to be positive. You'll be looking for positive things. So I am affirmations or statements. I am good. I am excellent. I am smart. Things like that. Whenever you can. So that's another way to just kind of start helping yourself, feeling better about yourself. If you can love yourself, then you can give love and positive energy back.
Mhm. And is there so part of this is like what you talked about with me earlier when we were talking on the side around this is retraining your brain to notice more positive things in the world and also celebrate or in your world and like celebrate your things that you do on the daily and really celebrate them. Like take time to celebrate the small things.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah, they stack on each other. So every time you do something, no matter how small it is, that's a positive thing. That's you celebrate to say, hey, that's awesome. I did that. I feel good about that. Stop and allow yourself to feel good about it. And again, that will stack. So the more things you start feeling good about, the more your brain starts training itself to feel good about the little things you do in your life. And then you just keep stacking that and avoid anything positive. If anything happens, if you forget to do something, we're all human. You don't get down on yourself. You allow yourself to make mistakes. You learn from those mistakes. But anything positive you do, you celebrate. You tell yourself that was a good thing, and your brain will want more of it. And then you start noticing more of it, creating the positive energy loop. So you're giving out positive energy. The positive energy will start coming back to you as well, which starts feeding on each other, and you have a positive energy loop.
Mhm. I think you were also talking about this idea about like bringing your energy up. So not only like noticing the positive things and having that habit be like not I call it like the inner critic, like you don't focus on the inner critical voice as much as you're like, okay, wait a second, let's put that over there and then focus on the positive statements or what did we accomplish in this scenario that really was worked or your intention was good or whatever. But then I think there was something else you were telling me about. It was just like bringing your energy up and like somaticizing whatever it is that is the positive feeling.
Yeah, so anytime that you do something positive, you feel good about it, you bring up your energy, you try to have higher energy whenever you're doing anything. You can get that through exercising or just observing, being in the moment, feeding off of what's positive around you at the moment. So all of those things will give you more energy, bring you to a higher level of energy. And the more you're in that state, the more you're able to observe positive things, good things in your life, being grateful for things.
Mhm. So tell me how you do that.
Well, I like to take walks out in nature, and that brings up my energy often. It allows to kind of focus in on one thing. It's kind of a meditation. I like riding bicycles, which kind of lets me meditate and allow my energy to come up also. And recently, I've convinced myself that I'm going to start learning how to surf. So I got a balance board, and if I'm doing anything mundane around the house, if I'm just hanging out, I like to get on the balance board. It helps with the balance, but also brings up the energy level. Motion creates emotion. So let me tell you about a couple of the things that I do to get my energy up, to get prepared for things. Some of these sound real simple and maybe kind of a little ridiculous, but our brains really do work on a simple level, actually, and it's kind of easy to trick them or reprogram or reboot them with simple techniques. So one would be before I get on and speak with somebody, I try to get my energy level up by breathing. I have a breathing technique that I breathe in real fast through my nose, out, in, out. I count to a certain amount, do that 3 times, and it fills your body with oxygen, brings up your energy level, and gets you into a real nice state of mind. It helps you clear everything out, and that's how I get prepared actually to do anything, whether it's speaking to somebody or actually doing something that's important that I need to get my energy level up for.
Mm. So
The
could you
other,
lead us through that right now? So if anyone's watching, they can do it.
all right, we'll see. I
I'll
mean,
do it with you if I'll try not to be intimidated.
okay. So let me
Okay. Yeah.
adjust that a little bit. All right. So yeah, it's real simple. Essentially, you're almost trying to get yourself to hyperventilate, but all right, we're going to do that 20 times. I'm going to abbreviate this a little bit. And on the last one, on 20, you hold your breath out. Count as long as you can, and then start it again. So you're breathing out, you're hyperventilating for about 20, holding your hands up and down as fast as you can.
Hmm.
Then when you count to 20, you exhale, hold it out as long as you can, and then start the process again, and you do it 3 times. And at the end of this, it really, like I said, brings up an energy level, gets your blood going, gets oxygen into your blood. And it's a real simple way to kind of like I said, just get yourself jazzed up for something or just to give you a boost of energy. It's real simple,
Hmm.
easy trick to do.
Yeah. It reminds me when I was doing that, it was reminding me like there's no way to think about anything else except
Right.
for that. And it's a kind of a reset, a major reset in your mind. Like your mind just has to go with the oxygen increase in a way.
Yeah. It's beautiful because it's real simple and you can do it almost anywhere. So,
Hmm.
so another technique would be some people are nervous when they go out in groups of people or going to a party or something like that. So another neat little trick, um, again, it sounds real simple, but it works, is anytime that you walk in through a doorway, and I do this and I tell my clients to do this any doorway, whether you're walking into a Walmart, into your office, anywhere, when you walk in, just go, I am magnificent as you walk through and smile. And that especially works, say, if you're going to a party or something like that. And, have you ever noticed some people when they walk in just have low energy? You're like, and other people when they walk in, everybody in the room seems to look at them and you feel this energy off of them. So when you walk into the room, you just say, I am magnificent, and think to yourself, I love everybody in this room. And
Mm,
you will be radiating out a positive energy loop, magnetism, and it'll start coming back. And that's the difference between somebody walking into a room and nobody really noticing, and somebody walking into a room and everybody saying, I want to go talk to that person.
mm,
So it's a positive energy. So again, another real simple thing to do. You can even just think it whenever you walk through a doorway. Just say, I am magnificent and smile. And that energy will radiate out to people.
mm, hmm.
And then another technique I have, this would be almost more for calming down, but it uses energy and takes you to a different vibration as well, which would be the tapping, the EFT, which when I first started getting into it, I was very skeptical of this. And as I dove deeper into it, I didn't realize how much is really behind it, how long this has been around for. But it's the emotional freedom technique or tapping, if that makes more sense. And really, what it does is it taps into your meridian lines. There's lines of nervous system that runs up and down your body, and it's kind of like acupuncture. It's acupressure, and you're tapping into these little spots of the meridian lines, and it's telling your brain, it's okay. You can relax. You're safe. It'll turn off any fight or flight mechanism that might be activated in your body. That's the calming and the relaxing, and it allows your brain to be open to suggestions because it's relaxed. And so, just a typical tapping would be start kind of in your chest area, and you can use two hands or one, and you're basically just kind of tapping. If you'd like to do a little breathing into it also, you can start breathing and focus on your breathing. And then you go down to your sternum here.
Mhm.
I'm just going to go through it real quick. Then you go down to the side of your ribs.
Mhm.
There's the inside of your ribs,
Mhm.
back of your hand, top of your thumb, top of index finger, top of the next finger, the bottom of the ring finger, top of the pinky, and then a karate chop, top of the head, kind of your temples here, under the chin here, top of the mouth, under the nose, down to the chin, under the lip, and then your back to kind of your chest area.
Mhm.
If you go around and loop around that several times, it will just start putting your body into a nice calm and relaxed mode. Again, almost bringing your energy up in a calm and relaxed fashion, taking you out of the fight or flight.
Mhm.
And from there, I work on people doing other things, whatever the particular issue is that day. We will work on that issue. And because you're opening up your subconscious to your conscious, it allows things to flow into it. And we can defuse or decharge any issues that are happening and then replace them with positive things that we want to have happen. And it's the neuroplasticity of the brain that allows the synapses to change. And by doing, by tapping, it allows us to get into that state of mind where we can make suggestions and change our brain. And
Mhm.
it's been very helpful. But anybody can just do that on a daily basis. If you're stopped at a red light, in the office, watching TV, whatever it is you're doing, if you're feeling anxiety, if you're feeling a charge about something, just going through that basic tapping without
Mhm.
anything else will
So just doing it without anything else, just tapping.
just the tapping itself will make you feel relaxed and bring you into a nice place. And then, like I said, I've worked on a whole bunch of other things that go along with that, so we're able to replace bad memories, replace fears,
Mhm.
phobias, anything like that, um, and replace those with positive things that we would like to be there. Okay, Susan, so I'm going to try to do a quick demonstration. This would be a synapse of kind of what we would do, but a person would start tapping on their chest.
Mhm.
I like to have them close their eyes, really doesn't matter. I like to do a couple deep breaths to just kind of ground and get ourselves in the present. So just do one more. Okay, so I'll just pick something real simple. Somebody who is feeling maybe a little anxiety. So we'll just go through a quick little session on that. So we're going to start here. We're going to go to our chest, our sternum next. We're going to go to the ribs next, inside of the ribs next. So I'm just going to start and try to follow along. Okay.
Mhm.
So even though it's the holiday season and I'm feeling very anxious and stressed about the amount of time I have, I'm allowing myself to feel this and accept it. And I'm allowing myself to love myself exactly how I am. We're going to go down to the ribs next, or the sternum. Just keep tapping. So sometimes I feel like there's just not enough time in the day to get everything that I need to get done accomplished. And why wouldn't I feel like that? There's just so much to do. It is so overwhelming, and everybody else is trying to get everything done as well. But it's okay. I'll be all right. And I'm accepting myself exactly how I am. We're going to go to the inside of the ribs. It's kind of hard to get to that, but and even though I'm feeling a little anxious about all this, I know that at the end it's going to be really fun for the holidays and I'm going to get everything done. I'm going to get everything accomplished just the way it should be. And I'm okay with that. And I feel okay with that. I'm going to be all right. I'll go to the top of the head. And sometimes I maybe get overwhelmed on things because I'm thinking too far in the future. And that's okay. But, you know, I'm open to just being here right now, to being here in the present and loving and accepting myself just how I am. Go to the kind of the middle of the forehead. Sometimes it's okay to feel overwhelmed. The world is very busy, but I also know that I'm okay and everything will be done the way that it should be done. And I'm all right with that. Go to the temples. And sometimes I end up getting everything done that I needed to get done, and everything is fine. And I worried about things that I didn't have to worry about. And that's okay too. I love and accept myself exactly how I am. Go down to the cheeks. And I'm noticing everything around me right now. And I'm being grateful for all the things that I have right now, right here in front of me. And maybe it's okay not to worry about the future too much. Maybe it's okay to be here right now and love and accept myself for exactly how I am right now. Let's go under the nose, on the top of the lip. And maybe it's okay to be exactly how I am. It's all right if I don't get everything accomplished. I'm feeling pretty good about myself, and I'm loving and accepting myself for everything that I do and everything that I am. In fact, I'm pretty amazing, and I love myself. Go to the chin or the below the lip, and I'm getting everything done exactly the way it should be done. I'm feeling good about it. I'm loving my life. I'm taking deep breaths, being present here right now. Let's go back to the chest. And even though sometimes I do get overwhelmed, it's all right. I love myself. I love being in the present right now, observing, feeling. Go back down to the sternum, and everything's going to work out exactly the way it should. And I feel good about that. And I love myself and I accept myself exactly how I am, right here, right now. Okay, so that's just kind of a little bit of after when we're done with this, you tap all around. You tap yourself all around, and you say, "Good job. I really feel good about myself." And just, I mean, I can feel that right there. It's
Yeah.
like just energy that goes through your body. It's a calming, soothing, and it just really feels good.
Yeah,
So,
it's
uh,
interesting because I was thinking that when you were doing it, I was just thinking like there's this kind of relationship that you're building with yourself about like internally soothing yourself, um, and just reminding yourself that like, what if you did that a few times every day? What if you just brought your nervous system down a few times every day and just really worked on the art of being present with yourself? How would you show up differently? Like, how would your energy exchange with people be? It's these techniques aren't like complicated, right? They're like for everybody. They can just pick them up.
that's the beauty of this is, I can work with people on specific things and guide them through specific things and lower the charge on some things. But really, once we've done it a couple of times, you take it with you. You can do it anytime, anywhere for yourself, and that's what I hope actually that I'm helping somebody, and I'm just passing on something that I learned that helped me and has helped other clients, and I'm passing it on to people. Hopefully, they will take it and then maybe pass it on to somebody else. It's a real simple way of decharging something and just like you said, being present, feeling good about yourself in the now, calming. It's beautiful.
Mhm. Okay. So this is just interesting, simple stuff that one can do, right? To just keep sort of buffering their life and like having a different experience of themselves in their life. And I guess the burning question would be like, so what made you start going into and exploring coaching?
That's interesting. Yeah, I've always been good at giving advice to people, and then I started kind of doing some research online. I was doing some self help, and I caught on to a few of these free seminars and things. I started following a few people, and I realized I'm like, hey, this is all really good stuff. This really helps me, and that's really got me going down that road. Was I wanted to help myself get better, and the more I started peeling back some of the layers, the more I saw there's different approaches, different avenues, different ways to help people and coach people. So I
Mhm.
just started researching. I actually passed my certification as a coach, which is just the generic coaching, which is great. And then started kind of following a path of self help and self soothing, self healing. Um, myself because I wanted to learn about that, and then it just seemed to branch out and I started taking different courses. But anyway, it was really just kind of following a path that I felt guided down, and I've got a couple different tools in my belt to help people from different ways, whether it's just basic coaching, or doing some neuro encoding, or doing some tapping, whatever it is. And sometimes it's all of them that help people get them to where they need to be. And again,
Mhm.
a lot of these tools are real simple, like you said, real basic. You don't even really have to believe in them. You just got to be willing to try them out. And once you do, they always seem to help, and you can take them with you from then on. You get to use them yourself.
Mhm. So what, one of the things I've been talking about in some of these conversations that I've been having with practitioners like yourself is like, what is the your daily practice? Because some of it is learning how to do these things, but actually doing them on the regular, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I don't suggest anything that I don't personally do and I've seen the results of. So, what do you mean? So, like, what do I do
So
on a
I mean,
regular day?
do you do these things regularly yourself? Are you like on a daily connection with yourself around these tools? Is there something that
Oh,
you
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, I wake up in the morning. I have a little bit of a routine. I like to write in a journal, write things that I'm grateful for, some intentions for my day, some of the accomplishments that I've had, and celebrate them, and then visualize what I would like to have come in the future. I try to do some breath work first thing in the morning, and that kind of leads into a little bit of meditation. Starts my day off. I absolutely do not look at my phone first thing in the morning. I purposely keep my phone in a place that I can't just grab it first thing. I
Mhm.
try to do these other things first before I pick up the phone and get into the day. If you can start your day off with a positive attitude and a positive energy, it just builds for the rest of the day.
Mm.
And some people might relate to this. If you roll over and pick up your phone and you see that email, or you see a news article real quick, or just something that's a downer, that's not a great way to start your day in a negative state of mind. So I try to always do something maybe 10, maybe 15 minutes in the morning that are breath work, meditation.
Yeah, I mean, if you actually start off your day with some newscast or actually going right into your business, you've kind of stopped that cocooning effect of like you get to actually control your inner world a little bit before you present yourself to the outer world, right? So you get to have
Absolutely.
that buffer.
So a lot of times it's either right when you first wake up or before you go to bed, and that's because your brain waves are different at that time. So when you first wake up, you're still somewhat in between waves of your brain. You're not 100% in your conscious brain, and that's why it's good to be kind to yourself at that time because you're still in that link between your subconscious and your conscious. Also, before you're going to bed at night is another good time as you're winding down the day, you're coming out, going into your subconscious, and it's a good way to relax and get yourself set up for a nice, deep, restorative sleep. So that's why I choose those times either before bed or when I first wake up. But yeah, starting your day off with a positive start, a positive attitude can only help.
Yes, I mean, and again, it's like simple, but so many people like myself like get lazy at like letting the outside world come into these times that are really a time to be sensitive and sensitive to yourself and what's going on for you and letting it go and like looking at your day in a whole different perspective, like through like a lens that's, you know, that's more effective, right? Because it's more about what do you want to have happen? What's your vision? Like stay centered with yourself. You can actually kind of cut into this day just like walking into a room, right? You can cut into this day the same way.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's you can either choose to be positive or negative, live a beautiful life or a suffering life. Either way you choose, and it's still the same.
Mhm.
And it's it takes 66 days or 3 months to basically change any habit. So it takes a while to get bad habits, but it takes a little bit of time to get good habits. Once you do this on a daily basis, it becomes second nature. It becomes part of it. In fact, you
Well,
almost look
66 days creates this habit. So if I did this for 66 days or people watching did it for 66 days, they'd notice their brain starting to go into a new positive outlook and more strategies that sort of create this like sense of self in a different way.
absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely, yeah.
All right. I love it. I think it's just one of those other things about our healing world, you know, to explore is the avenue of coaching. And it looks like you've taken your coaching experience that you have worked on in your personal life in a different direction to help other people. And that's really admirable. I love to hear these stories a lot.
Yeah, and it's for me, like I said, it's really exciting to be a coach and helping people, but be able to bring in some of these other really cool tools that maybe they haven't heard of or experienced before. And when they're done, they can take the stuff with them. It's not like I'm waving a magic wand that only I have. Once you learn it, you can do it for yourself and take it with you for the rest of your life and make progress every day.
Right. I also liked how you brought in those very sort of simple daily things that you can do for yourself that don't require any machinery, going anywhere, just like walking, doing something that you're working on, like balancing on a balance board to go to a future goal. But these are again like relationship builders, right? That it is this connection that you have with yourself. Like, okay, how you doing? Did you do this? Did you give yourself time for that? You know, and this is going to add up to something. So that very symbolic thing about your balance board is going to add up to, you know, the surfboard on the ocean, you know, so it's going to add up. And that's such a great symbolism, you know, that things sort of build on each other, you know, build on themselves. So
Exactly.
thanks for
Yeah.
all that you shared with these tips. I think they're practical, everyday, no fuss, no muss. People could do them, you know. So.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, thanks for taking the time to talk. Is there
Susan,
anything else
thank
you
you so
want to
much.
say
Thank you
in
so
the
much for
ending?
having me.
Okay. Okay. Let me say that again. So, is there any other thing that you might want to add just as we're leaving our conversation?
Be positive. If you can look at something and look at it negatively or positively, choose the positive and love yourself. The more you're able to love yourself, the more you're able to love other people and give that energy out.
Okay, great. That's a really good ending wish. So, I appreciate that.